In the last video I provided an update on the Camp Hill line reopening, which will see 3 new stations constructed between Birmingham New Street and Kings Norton. In this video, however, we'll be taking a look at the much larger plans to transform travel across the West Midlands and beyond. Once the new Camp Hill line stations are complete, the new rail service will operate from Birmingham New Street to Kings Norton. And currently, this route is the only practical way to provide services on the Camp Hill line. However, anyone who has followed the HS2 debate will know it is often stated that New Street Station is nearing or at capacity, meaning there is little to no spare room for more trains. This is still true and means that West Midlands Railway is having to make use of paths that were used by cross-city line services prior to the pandemic. Cross-city line services have not yet returned to pre-pandemic levels, and currently a 4 trains per hour service operates in each direction, as opposed to 6 trains per hour which operated beforehand. This means that there is some spare capacity to turn back the new Camp Hill line trains at Kings Norton on the cross-city line without having to build any infrastructure at Kings Norton, or undertake any infrastructure modifications at Birmingham New Street. However, there are plans being drawn up to free up capacity at New Street and provide capacity at Kings Norton so cross-city line services could return to 6 trains per hour, in addition to the new 2 trains per hour service from the Camp Hill line. The scheme, which is called the Midlands Rail Hub, is being developed jointly by the Department for Transport, Midlands Connect, the West Midlands Rail Executive and Network Rail. The project proposes the construction of 2 new chords in the Bawdsley area, from the Chiltern Main Line onto the Camp Hill line, and the line from Water Orton with the existing Chiltern Main Line into Birmingham Moor Street. The project will also involve building additional platforms at Moor Street Station and a new platform at both Snow Hill and Kings Norton, as well as increasing the number of tracks between Moor Street and Bawdsley. The proposed western chord will not only allow Camp Hill line services to terminate at Moor Street rather than New Street, but together with the proposed upgrades south of Kings Norton would allow services from Moor Street to serve Bristol, Cardiff, Worcester and Hereford. A second eastern chord at Bawdsley would allow trains to head from Moor Street Station towards the East Midlands. If delivered in full, the Midlands Rail Hub has the potential to benefit more than 50 stations in total. Constructing the 2 new chords will be challenging and will likely involve the rebuilding of the bridge over Bawdsley Middleway, as well as the construction of a bridge over the roundabout at the western end of Small Heath Highway. In addition, both the eastern and western chords would have to cross the Grand Union Canal. No plans have yet been released for the chords, so what is shown in this video is just a broad assumption of where the chords may go, and I'm also assuming that the railway connections will be made with flat switches rather than the junctions being fully grade separated. By my reckoning, grade separating all 3 connections would likely require the entire Midlands Rail Hub budget. But even so, the new junctions and track between Moor Street and Bawdsley should provide more than enough capacity for new services without impacting existing Chiltern Main Line services. It is hoped that funding will be granted so that both of the chords can be constructed at the same time, which should provide cost savings by delivering the works within a single package. Hi there, just while I've got your attention, I'd like to say a big thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members who help to make videos like this possible. Your ongoing support really is appreciated, so thank you. If you'd like to consider supporting the channel, there'll be links in the description below, or if you're watching this on TV, search Rail Focus Patreon on Google. The budget for the combined Midlands Rail Hub projects is estimated to be £1.75 billion. The funding of £123 million, which was announced by the government at the beginning of March this year, will allow the project to progress to the full business case stage and for design work to begin. To deliver the project, the government will have to grant a Transport and Works Act order, or TWAO, which will provide Network Rail with permission to begin construction and to purchase any land if required. Finalising the business case and completing the TWAO process will likely take a number of years, but it is hoped that if funding is agreed, then the Midlands Rail Hub could be delivered by the early 2030s. The reopening of the Camp Hill line will provide benefits for residents who live in the south of the city who don't currently have convenient access to railway services. The Camp Hill line could also improve local and regional connectivity with HS2 services from Curzon Street, should the Western Chord be constructed. The Midlands Rail Hub is seen as an important part of unlocking the full benefits of HS2, as it will increase the number of services calling at Moor Street Station, which is right next to the new HS2 station, which is currently under construction. The western concourse of the new Curzon Street station will be adjacent to the entrance to Moor Street Station, so therefore Moor Street will become a very convenient station for onward travel via HS2. If the full Midlands Rail Hub scheme can be realised, then connectivity with HS2 services will be further enhanced and could bring passengers from Bromsgrove and beyond within easy reach of HS2 services. When the government announced the £123 million funding to progress the project, it also claimed that the Midlands Rail Hub has been made possible by the reallocation of HS2 funds, freed up by the cancellation of the northern section of HS2. But I hope most people realise by now that the reallocation of funds claim is a fallacy. If the Midlands Rail Hub has a positive business case, and I've no doubt it will, then it should not need funds to be diverted from other capital investment projects and should be funded through borrowing based on its own business case, just like any other project would be. What cancelling the northern legs of HS2 means is the new Curzon Street station will no longer be served by high-speed services to Manchester or Leeds, or services to Scotland, as would have been the case if the Golborne link were constructed. What this means is Curzon Street will have fewer onward travel options, which in turn effectively means fewer onward travel possibilities from Moor Street Station. That's not to say that the Midlands Rail Hub will not be transformational on its own if delivered in full, but the benefits could be spread so much further if HS2 were to be constructed in full to Manchester, Leeds and to Golborne.